afternoon, YouTube. This is Melissa coming to you not live from the beautiful country roads of West Virginia. If you watched a couple of my first videos that, I know I'm vertical, it's a mess, I get it, but there's still a good time. I bought Leca supplies and I wanted to start getting into semi-hydroponics and having plants in Leca. I tried to tape a couple videos and I had technical difficulties, of course, because I just do. And I did pot some plants up in Leca. I did this rattlesnake calathea. This is a holly syngonium. You watched me unbox this. And this is a begonia maculata. Now, this one is the one that is worrying me the most. I initially put too much water and not a semi-hydroponics fertilizer in with them. It was just a liquid fertilizer. I diluted it to about 1/4 strength, but still, I think it was too much. I have a man working on my driveway. It's been in rough shape, so there's a heavy piece of machinery going on outside. So this one, I want to take a look at the roots. Oh, okay, so we're getting some water roots up in here. It's adjusting. We've got some white roots happening, so I'm happy about that. But what I think I need to do now is add some nutrients to my reservoirs. So there's those roots, they're transitioning to water nicely. Even though the leaves went through a little bit of shock, there are some little growth points starting to happen. So that's looking up. This syngonium holly has done pretty well. I don't have a whole lot of water in here. I figured that out too. You really don't want to put too much water in your cash bowl, whatever you want to call it. So these roots too are acclimating and growing new roots into the water. The white roots are new. So yeah, so far so good. I am going to check out the other roots. And if we're good to go, then I'm gonna add some fertilizer. There are some new roots forming, not as many, but I still think it's okay. With Leca, you just add a little bit to the bottom. People like to tell you 1/3 of the way. I think you just have to eyeball it because the size of plants' roots are so different. The texture, some are thin, some are thick, some are big, some are small. Now I did pot up a little tiny syngonium and its roots were very small and it didn't make it. It was much, much smaller than this, very small. And I think because its root structure was so small that it just didn't stand much of a chance. So there's these 3 that have been living in semi-hydroponics for a while that I am going to mix up solutions. I bought these hydroponic solutions from General Hydroponics. This one is Flora Bloom, this one is Flora Grow, and this one is Flora Micro. Now I'm pretty sure you have to mix them in a specific order. So, and this is water I just ran in this jug several days ago, and it didn't have a lid on it, but I saved a milk jug lid because I thought, do I really want to throw all this away? I don't know, can I keep it and use it in the future, or do I have to dispose of what I don't use? I don't know. If you do, let me know. Now, the other things I thought about trying are these propagations that have been living in water for a while. So my thought process is, if a plant is already established in water, wouldn't it be easier to then transition it into semi-hydroponics instead of taking a plant out of dirt, rinsing off the roots, traumatizing the roots, and then putting it in Leca? That's what I did with those. I guess it turned out okay, we'll see. And then I was at Lowe's the other day and found, I always look at the clearance plants. You know, some people rescue puppies or kittens or whatever. I rescue plants. A lot of my plants are rescues. I buy them for $2 and bring them back to life. This was $7 and it's an orchid. It came in this beautiful pot, and I got the bamboo stick for $7. So I don't know what's going on in here. I mean, the roots down there look okay, but I don't know what that is. So that all needs to come off there, and I thought I'm gonna take a go at putting it in Leca. I don't know, we'll see. So for now, let's just mix up some fertilizer and maybe add these in. And this is a philodendron micans. I ordered cuttings from a purge a long time ago, and they're struggling. They've been in here for a long time. So I think I'm gonna put them in Leca, since they've been living in water. I purchased one of these potting up mats from Amazon. It was $7.99. I'm thinking it's going to be pretty awesome because I tend to do things wherever I can. A lot of times I do sit in the living room and watch TV while I do some stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what we're gonna do is mix up this solution right now. I don't know if you can see. We're gonna take our gallon of water. I have one of these old medicine droppers, and I figured that might be an easy way to get the small amounts of solution in here that we need. Flora Micro is the foundation of the advanced nutrient system. Flora Grow and Flora Bloom form the structure. Combine Flora Micro, Flora Grow, and Flora Bloom in different ratios to create specialized nutrient mixes. We call this the building block method. This unique system gives growers greater control over the nutrient mix than the single part nutrient. Whether they're cuttings and seedlings, general purpose, mild vegetative, aggressive vegetative growth, transition to bloom, blooming, and ripening. So depending on what phase they're in, depends on how much of these you would use. I am obviously going to go with cuttings and seedlings because I'm scared. So shake well before mixing. Always add Flora Micro to fresh water first and stir well. Then add Flora Grow and or Flora Bloom. Never combine Flora Micro with Flora Grow or Flora Bloom in undiluted form. Doing so may cause nutrient lockout, making some minerals unavailable. So basically we have to add this one to the water first, then shake it up or mix it. I'm probably going to shake it. And then we have to add these. So for cuttings and seedlings, we have to add a 1/4 of a teaspoon per gallon or 33 milliliters per 100 liter. So a 1/4 of a teaspoon, here is a 1/2 teaspoon. So a 1/4 is half of that. It's a very minuscule amount to put into this gallon of water. So, ooh, hey. All right, so there's a 1/4 of a teaspoon. And that goes into our gallon of water. So if you're going to use these products, you need to use the Flora Micro first, numero uno. Okay, next, I don't think it matters. This is the same. You add 1/4 of a teaspoon. How are you all doing today? I have had a very emotional, it's been an emotional week, and it's really not my business to air out on YouTube, but long story short, my oldest daughter is my stepdaughter. I've never looked at her like my stepdaughter. I knew I was marrying a man with children when I got married, and I have just always loved her and her brother like they were my own. I came into their life when she was about 4, I think, 3 or 4, and she's 21 and she just had a baby, and he's so beautiful. I got to meet him the other day, but she's not had an easy time. She's not had an easy time, and it's hard to just sit and wait for somebody to tell you what's going on and if everybody's okay. It's been so hard for me because I'm such a mama bear. I'm just a nurturer. I want to take care of people. I want to help people if I can. And she won't let me. She won't let me help her. She's very well taken care of. She has a huge family. She has a mom. She has sisters. She has a Mimi. She has aunts and uncles. She's got more family than I could ever possibly dream of having. I got my mom, my dad, and that's about it. I got 2 brothers I never see. I mean, I don't really have much family, but she does. She sure does. So she's a very well taken care of girl, but it's just hard because I love her like she's my daughter, but she's not my daughter, you know? So you want to be there. You want to help. You want to help take care of the baby. You want to help take care of her, and you're just not needed. And I struggle with that. I struggle with it. So I just keep telling myself it's not about me. It's not about me. It's about her, what she needs. She needs her mom right now. And that's okay. You know, it's okay. I get it. I get it. If I was her, I'd need my mom too. But it's just it's a fine line you walk with stepkids, you know? Because as much as you love them, they're not yours. They're not. And that's okay. I'm not saying it's not okay. It's just hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's difficult. It's way harder to be a step parent than it is to be a parent. In my situation, it has been. So that does not seem like very much, but I'm okay with it because I'm nervous and I am not going to add very much. So what I think I figured out from doing this too is, if you didn't catch the first video where I unboxed my Leca, I unboxed these pots. I got them off Amazon. I think I got 8 of them for $7 or something. And I got the original solution I thought I was gonna use. And totally just lost my train of thought because I'm thinking about my daughter and that baby. Y'all, he's beautiful. Beautiful. 8 pounds, 8 ounces, gorgeous little thing. But mama is having a hard time, and it's C19er season, so not everybody can be at the hospital. We can't show her support, and so I'm trying to take care of my plants. You know, I'm trying to take care of my plants. What was I gonna say? I totally don't remember. My apologies. Oh, I think what I was gonna say was that I added too much water initially, and I added fertilizer, which I think was a mistake. So really, you don't have to add much water, at least until I think until your plants get those white water roots, those roots that are used to living in water. I would say not to add very much water and just let the Leca absorb it. So, you know, I'm only putting about this much water in here, and that's it. And then hopefully that little rattlesnake calathea will soak up some nutrients it needs. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit paranoid that this man is gonna come up and knocking on my door needing to tell me something and I'm talking to myself on my cell phone. I'm a little nervous. Okay, so again, just added, you know, like this much. Not much. I can always add more, and then you just leave them alone. Leave them alone, which is hard for me. I want to peek at them and look at them and help them. So let's look at these. This is a, see all those roots in there. This was the cutting that lady sent me for, oh, so I don't think that video worked out. The lady who I purchased the Monstera albo off of that I showed you in my last video sent me this little cutting for free because she felt bad that her shipping wasn't exactly when she wanted it to be. And you know, life happens, things happen. I wasn't too worried about it. So see what I mean about these water roots? These roots that are obviously very used to living and surviving in water. They're just nice and white. This plant's used to living in water. So I'm actually going to plant, this is like a Mandula or Snow Queen cutting. This is a Neon Pothos cutting, and these are Philodendron Brazil cuttings. I'm just gonna pot them all up together. Sometimes I think that looks pretty, you know, to have different leaves and different textures going on. So I'm gonna add some Leca. You know how I told you when we were out in the garden that a gardener's, one thing that is a gardener's best friend is zip ties? Well, one of your other best friends for anything starting seeds, you know, whatever you need them for, is red solo cups. They just seem to come in so handy, you know, handy dandy. I think so. But it doesn't take much to excite me. Just don't want to stay. So basically, I'm just trying to get these lines down here as best I can. I am not a professional. Now I am going to fill it the rest of the way up with Leca. Anybody else my age grew up watching Pee-wee's Playhouse? Talk about a crazy show. Come on in and pour yourself up a tea. Yeah, maybe I am a little crazier than I thought. Whatever. Keep myself entertained, you know, in this crazy world. So I always tend to want to shove a bunch of Leca in there, and I don't know if that's really what I should do. And then again, we're just maybe give this a little shake, shake. Put a little water in, not much. I don't know if you can see that. And we're gonna drop this down in here, see how it goes. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing plant I've ever potted up, but you can always mess with it later, but you get the gist. So I'm wondering if this one will do better because, like I said, it's been living in water. So now I have 4 plants in Leca. And this Micans, you guys. Part of me feels like it would be happier in soil. That one's got a decent root. That one's actually grown in the water. Like, and it's got a pretty decent sized leaf, so it's encouraging. That one has acclimated to the water as well. Well, these kinds are from 2 different people. This does not have favorites at all. I don't know. This one is also acclimated and used to the water. There's just one root on that one, but it'll do. I guess guess, you know, mine aren't as hard to come by as they used to be. This one, no wonder, I guess maybe some of these weren't down in the water. Not bad. Huh. I don't know why they don't have, are they really slow to forwards? Do they need some nutrients? What's all that? I just threw that down in there and it rooted. You gotta love that. You gotta love what some people would throw away as trash. And look, it's gonna be a whole little plant. That one's got nice big white roots. It just seems like, you know, you can kind of tell the difference between roots that are established in water. You got a couple. So I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Again, we're gonna put a little Leca in here. And then just add the cuttings. You want to try to get your Leca sort of down in there pretty good. Whatever you got to do. If you want to squeeze it a little, if you want to give it a little tappity tap tap. And again, just a little water, and we'll see how they do. They're not feeling very velvety, they're not feeling super great, but hopefully they'll grow with a little nutrients. And that little tiny baby is poking down in there that just came off of, there was one little part of one little node on the stem that I threw down in there and it worked. So there is the Leca for now. We've got 5 plants in Leca. These 2 were living in water previously, and these 3 were transitioned from dirt. So should I see what's going on with this orchid while we're at it? We might as well. We might as well, since I have it out, you know, why not? This poor thing. I mean, the only reason they clearanced it is because the flowers fell off. That's it. I mean, I would say that's the only reason why, which is silliness, but it worked out good for me. I like the pot. So when you buy orchids from the store, usually you have to take them out of whatever they're in. Like, what even is this? What the crap? I mean, that's just mold waiting to happen right there. That's nasty. Now, what you want to do is go in and cut off any damaged, mushy, dead roots. This thing, I mean, there's a couple, I think those are new roots. Yeah, you gotta get all of this crap out of here. They want to be in orchid bark. They want to be in very airy, loose, not this, definitely not this. You would think that people who sell these, see, and you're gonna lose some roots. It's gonna happen. What is the point of all this stuff if the roots are dried up? So after I get all this worked out, I'm gonna soak the roots in water. These poor roots, I mean, they're dead. They are dead. The roots should be, when they're silvery, they need watered. When they're green, they're happier. A lot of them will turn green when you water them. I watched the Orchid Girl on YouTube when I got that other one, and I believe what she said was you go up the stem and where it flowered, so this is where it flowered, you want to cut right above. It has these lines, perforations. I don't know the exact term on the stem, but you cut that off. And then it should send another shoot out eventually and flower for you again. You just kind of prune it up. Get a lot of that janky, nasty stuff off of there. If anything feels mushy, this thing is just dry. But if anything feels mushy or rotted, you definitely want to get that off of there. But I'm going to soak it in water and see what it looks like. I'm just going to take this pot that it came in. I'm half tempted to put this on it. Why not? It was $7. Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna just let this soak for a little while. Let the roots take a good nice soak. And I'll get the other orchids in and show you what they look like. These are the other little orchids I have. They too need watered. What I do is run water on them about once a week. I just let them soak for 10 minutes or so and then dump the water out. This is the guy I've had the longest. That's the new leaf he just put out. When I got it, it was in very bad shape. He's still in pretty bad shape. I have not figured out orchids, but these leaves are pretty old on here. See that green? That's ideal. You know, definitely need water. I am going to use that fertilizer as well because they probably need it. And I will just let them sit now for 10 or 15 minutes or so and soak some of that up. You can already see this one's roots turning green in there. See all that green coming out? They just were really thirsty. And that will happen with this one as well. Some of those silvery roots will turn green just immediately. Now this one, since I got that little tiny leaf, and I did go ahead and cut off where it flowered. This one took me forever. I cut it off. It was months, and it sent off this shoot, and it had these beautiful white flowers. I was so proud. I was a proud mama, and I went to do something and to like reach past it and just broke it. Oh, I killed one of them. I killed my baby. Anyway, we'll see what this stuff does. Hopefully it doesn't kill them. And there is some of my Leca journey, semi-hydroponic journey. I think that it's a really smart investment if you have a lot of houseplants because you can reuse the Leca. You can, you know, first of all, the bag that I ordered, I think it was around $25 or $20. It is huge. Huge. It'll last you a very long time. And you can rinse all these off and reuse them. It's not like soil where you get fungus gnats. You know, you're constantly having to amend your soil. You have to add some worm castings or fish emulsion or maybe more perlite, or maybe you just need to repot and pot up. And with this, you just rinse, flush all the salts and everything out, and then add more fertilizer. And if I'm only using 1/4 of a teaspoon per gallon of water, this is going to last a long time. So I just think it sounds smart. Plus, it's supposed to really cut down pests. And let's face it, anybody who has a pretty decent houseplant collection, you do not want to deal with pests. It's terrifying.